You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are live at paceradio.net as well as at cbgtv.com. I'm Al Graham, and unfortunately, my joint host, Tamara Cartwright, has to work, and she won't be with us tonight, so I'll be going solo, but nevertheless, we will continue on, and I got some guests tonight, and we're going to be talking about a lot of things over the last few years, and obviously some more recent things, and that is with Ted Smith, and I believe Jacqueline is with him as well, and I will be talking with them in the next few minutes. But first, I've got three things I want to bring up, and that is the Can Expo in Toronto this weekend at the Intercare Center. The Pace Radio Network is up for award and the Cannabis Influencer Award section of it all. And we're there with the best cannabis-related podcast. So there's us and 4 other podcasts that are involved in it. Plus, there's a total of 7 different categories that people have been voting in. Now, we had the CEO of the event on the show recently, and she mentioned to us that they had over 10,000 people who voted in that awards. So they were very happy with the outcome of all that, as far as the people interacting and being involved in it. So as well. So we'll be there Friday. As far as for the awards, that's Friday at 1:00. So Pace Radio Network, CBG TV. We're going to be down there covering that 420 radio on the Friday, probably about 2:30, 3:00. We'll be going live. We'll be going around to the vendors, talking to them, find out what happened at the awards show, and we'll just go from there. Spend a few hours talking with people and finding out what's new in things. So that's at, as I said, the Intercare Center, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the awards show is at 1:00. And if you don't know where the Intercare Center is, that is at the exhibition grounds. It's the old Direct Energy building. As well as the awards, they're going to have a cooking contest going on down there. Speakers, as well as I mentioned, vendors from wherever, a bunch of vendors, I guess. Now, Tamara's also, I should let you know, while Tamara's not here tonight and she's working, I will let you in on a few other things that Tamara would have told you about. There was the fact that she is starting her old show, Cannabis and Coffee with Tamara back up. It will be starting this coming Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time, so 8 p.m. Mountain time, which obviously she won't be getting home from work as tonight while she's still working, as she was worried about with spring as the season stretched out. She's part of the outdoor gardening crew, so those hours I imagine will be, as spring comes in and the days get longer, will be getting longer for her as well. And the last thing I want to touch on before we bring in our guests, and that is here in Ontario, in the news today, Premier Ford has announced basically he has shut down any hopes and chances of vapor lounges coming here to the province, at least the smoking vapor lounges that we are well aware of and had plenty of in the city back in, let's say, 2013, 2012, 2011, in that area. There was even 2014 still. Lots of vapor lounges were in the city at the time. And we're finding out today that there won't be any coming to Ontario. And this is a quote from the Premier. He says, "I don't like the idea of, having a lounge outside where they're smoking their doobies or their weed or whatever the hell they call it, or sorry, whatever the heck they call it nowadays. And some kids walk by and there's all this smell. I don't know. I don't like that personally. If you want to do your stuff, do it somewhere else. So there you go. That gives the chances of what the chances are like to vapor lounges, smoking vapor lounges, at least coming here to Ontario. Being that we're not allowed, we have the Smoke Free Ontario Act. You can't smoke within 9 meters of a business. You can't smoke in a business. But this is for outdoor lounges. He doesn't want even outdoor lounges. Never mind the Smoke Free Ontario Act is keeping the inside ones closed down. But outdoors, he doesn't even like that at all. What if a business has got lots of room on the property and they could surround space around them where they're within the legal 9 meters that we have here in the province? You know, something that could maybe accommodate some people, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like anything is going to happen anytime soon. So, like I said, there's going to be more people, more patients forced to go outside in the cold because of where they live, and it's just not right. So, all right, well, I'm going to move on, bring our guests into the program. I'm sure that at some point during the broadcast, we'll be talking about some of those issues as we go along. But first, I want to find out a bit about them. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our guests to tonight's program. I see I've got 2 of the 3 that were involved, but I'd like to say welcome to Jacqueline Kittel and Ted Smith of Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club. Hello, how you doing tonight?
Hey.
Hey there, doing good, thanks. How are you, buddy?
Good, doing all right, and good to see that you've got a roof over your heads out there and out there, which you guys had a bit of a situation there. But
Yeah,
before
I
we
guess
get
the first
before we
time
get
on the new
into
home.
what was that?
It's the first time on your show in the new home.
Yes, it is exactly. First time for you to be there at your new home to be on the show. So we'll get into that and what the differences are and maybe maybe some challenges and benefits and stuff like that. But before we get into that, I just wanted to basically, I know that Jacqueline has some time restraints. I mean, from the messages I got earlier about work and all. So I like to get a question or 2 in towards Jacqueline before we get into the whole VCBC move and all that. How's that? Sound good?
Perfect.
All right. Okay. So basically what I'm looking to ask you is I know lots about Ted, right? And Ted's been on the show quite a few times, but you've never been on the show. So I'd like to find out a little bit about yourself as far as what got you involved in the cannabis community and why, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, totally. My name's Jacqueline Kittel. It's pronounced similar to like a Skittle.
Okay, good.
I grew up outside of Vancouver, and I think I was just a chronic stoner in my youth. But I got kicked out by my mom and my parents like 3 or 4 times, and it was really a big point of contention in our lives. And I remember being a kid trying to argue with my mom like about why it was a good thing, and she said like, well, for every study you could find of how good it is, I could find one about how bad it is. And at the time I didn't have the tools to argue with her, but now as an adult it's like, oh god, I wish I could have supported little me at that time. But yeah, I resisted the like stoner stereotype really strongly, because I smoked weed like every day, but I still like went to high school every day and I graduated with honors, and my
Oh,
school gave out a gold pin because I got honors every year of school. And I did a yearbook final editor 2 years in a row, and then I got an entrance scholarship to UVic. So like there was
nice.
nothing to
Yeah.
back up this like stoner stereotype, and I really resented it. and went to
Yeah,
university.
I agree.
Yeah, right?
Keep going. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So went to university and I had the liberty of pursuing a gender studies degree. And so gender studies is the study of like identities pretty much. So it's when we
Mhm.
really get into sexism and classism and racism, colonialism and all the other isms that comes to identity and politics and power and social structures and inequality and oppression, like all those
Yeah.
things. And so because gender studies is a very small program, the way that it's designed at UVic is they want you to finish your undergrad with something, because most undergrads just like go through the process and take the classes and then they're done. And usually you produce work when you're in your master's or in your PhD, that's when you start making your original work. But gender studies, they wanted their graduates to finish with something. So you could either do like an artistic project or a theater piece or whatever, or we had the opportunity to do a research paper. So the first semester we learned the ethics and how to conduct research and all that goes with it. And then in the second semester we got to do original research. So I decided I wanted to take this opportunity to focus on women in cannabis because,
Okay.
women is a whole thing, and then cannabis is this new industry, and women's place in it is a whole discussion to be had. So I, at the same time, was going to 420 circles that Ted was hosting on campus. So that was when, like, I met some of my best friend Rachel. We like just went there every Wednesday, and we like got to be stoners in public without having to like hide in the forest and like the whole.
Yes.
So at the
Yeah, exactly.
time, I was also working in the illicit industry just before legalization. So it was in downtown Victoria when there was lots of dispensaries all over the place,
Oh, Elver.
right? Like
Yeah. Yeah, oh
2016,
yeah.
17, right in there.
Right. I
So
remember it was like in Toronto, it'd be the same idea over that, be the same idea there. And a lot of it was the same businesses. We're in the same, like
yeah,
in
yeah. I
BC
worked
was
for
in Toronto
Eden
at the
for a
same time.
minute. I worked for Trees. I worked for Pharmacy. I worked for Leaf. A lot of the big
Yeah.
chains here. And so when I was doing my research project, I knew of Ted and the VCBC and what have you. And so I went to him to help find the women participants, because like I'm just a young student, I don't know who to talk to. So I was like, this is the guy I gotta like connect with.
This is the
And
guy. This is the
yeah. It was the same time that he was retiring from cannabis, which was like a big old dealio. And
yeah.
then I was just eager, bright eyed, and bushy tailed doing my research paper. So he said
Mhm.
no to everybody else, but he helped me connect with the project, which was super special. So
Yes.
he talked to the women and helped me decide who to do. And I interviewed 5 different women in the industry and produced my work, which was really cool.
Really cool. Yeah, exactly. The Can Expo that I was talking about previously, before I brought you guys into the show, um, that itself is organized by women. There's only one guy that I saw on the board.
Cool.
The rest are all female, and they also have a panel. One of the panel discussions throughout the weekend features about eight different women that are within the industry. So
Dope.
it's good to see. I
Yeah.
completely agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And so I finished my research for my class requirements, but I had
Mhm.
the fortune of also submitting it to be peer reviewed. So that
Oh,
meant that it got the scholastic, like I'm a peer reviewed published author. And so I got
yes.
to contribute to the body of knowledge.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
your
So,
paper has been cited a number of times.
Yeah, yeah. And I
really,
won
eh?
national essay writing competition, and they flew me to Regina to speak about my work.
Oh, wow. Holy
Yeah.
smokes. Jeez, so how's mom and dad now with the stupid stoner idea?
So almost all of them, like my mom especially, are taking weed products now. Like my
Yeah, okay,
mom, my
yeah.
grandmother, my aunt, like it's just a
All the
normal thing.
CBD.
All of it, yeah. And Ryan wants to sleep
Yeah.
too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yep. Completely agree. Like Ted said, CBD products and yeah,
yeah,
people don't. Not everybody wants to get stoned. They're
yeah,
not all looking to get high or anything. You want to
yeah,
get treated, medicated for whatever condition that they're dealing with.
yeah,
And yeah, it's for a lot of people that's what it's about. So
totally.
it doesn't surprise me there, but it's good to see that they switched the things, the way
Yeah,
that their impression is of that of everything, because it is important, because they'll end up talking about it to their friends
yeah.
as well. It just spreads. It's crazy. So but it's all good. It's all good. I like that. Now,
Mhm.
and what role do you do at VCBC?
I feel like it's easiest to describe as like Ted's right hand in a lot of ways. Like he's very like big and aspirational and like, and then we're going to change the world like this. And then I'm like, okay, but like literally how? Like step one.
Um,
Well, you know, it
well,
to have that person that's available, that you can talk to Ted and be able to do things and work things. Is I know in past shows, like when it comes to this technical end with the camera and setting everything's up, I've seen Jacqueline before, but I didn't know who you were. I just knew that you were the person that was helping Ted um with the camera and whether you're on a phone or a computer or whatever, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's been she's been a joy to work with. Like she said, when she published this paper, she was working for one of these other chain stores in town, and when
Mm,
she graduated from university, I poached her. And we hired her right out of school, and
wow.
it was funny though, because she didn't know anybody else at the club at all, and this is a pretty kind of veteran crew, but we also had like a lot of turmoil internally with our staff at the time, a lot of
Mhm.
infighting. And so it really wasn't, on the surface it was friendly, but there was a lot of stuff going on that really wasn't good. And about a year and a half after she started here, the manager left, and I didn't replace her with anybody else. I said, I just figured I would manage the situation. I didn't need any
Mhm.
more. There's about 12 or 13 staff, and it's like I can handle this myself. I don't need middle management. But a couple months after that, Jack couldn't take it anymore, and she's like, "No, you need an assistant. You need me to be there to do all these things and make sure they happen on time and all the things." And she, was right. And
Yeah.
it's been a lot of challenges over that 3 years now or so that she's been manager with
Mhm.
me. We faced a lot of external battles. We faced a lot of internal battles. We faced a lot of logistical battles. And every time something comes up, like she said, I'm kind of the guy in the news telling everybody how we're going to deal with it, while she's like on the computer figuring out how we're going to deal with it.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's teamwork, right?
Yeah. And it
It
helps like fill in the gaps of like, okay, this is the plan, but like how is it actually gonna work? Like what am I missing, you
yeah,
know? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and we
yeah.
work great together. Like she's basically half my age, and so she's got a lot
Oh,
of skills and knowledge about technology and the way the world works that I don't,
right.
because I'm this like old hippie freak now, stuck in my ways. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so we really complement each other in different aspects, and we both have a drive and an energy that's honestly quite rare. most of my
Right.
employees that I've had here over the years are just happy to get their paycheck and, do a few things maybe at home about it. But, Jack, since the day she's worked here, has been concerned about things and want to make sure that things work and that, things are thought out right, and that anything that can be prepared is prepared. And so
Right.
she asked me a lot of tough questions about things at times that I'm not even ready for. And I just got to look at her and go, I don't know what the fuck we're going to do, but that's just that's what we're going to figure it out. Like, but it's good,
sometimes flying by the seat of your pants works,
Yeah. We work great together.
That's good. That's key to make things operate. You don't always have to agree on things, but you gotta, respect each other's opinions and come up with what's best for VCBC.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely don't agree on things. Like art, like
petty things, like his beard.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
For the most part, we're really super committed to the patients and the cause here, and not only the changes we're making every day with people that come in here thanking us profusely for saving their lives and keeping them going, but also the bigger changes, right? Like, that we have made and continue to make in law, because we have an incredible history. We just passed the 8-year anniversary of getting to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, it's great. Those memories, those Facebook memories are great when those things come up. Yeah. Especially with over those historic times. Like, I don't know, Jacqueline, where you were at that time?
No, I came after. So that was 2015, and then I graduated 2018. So that's when I started here. So this April will be 5 years. And so I've never had a real job. I've just fucking worked at this job. Great. Great.
You're getting all kinds of experience in many different types of jobs.
But I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to go to the Supreme Court again. Right. And to be involved, because I'll be the one reading the emails and sending the files and fucking whatever else. Yeah.
You'll be right in there. And
what an opportunity. Like, so many of my peers went into working for government or whatever else, like, an office job. But like, the experiences that I've gotten to have here are immeasurable and invaluable and vast.
Oh yeah. Like, during that appearance at the Supreme Court, I was sitting right behind Ted and Owen, and they got a nice picture of them with the judges in the foreground and behind them, and got a good picture of it.
I'll tell you, camera in the courtroom, Al.
Hey, I was like,
you breaking the rules? You naughty stoner.
And if you did, you should have got a picture of Allison hitting her vaporizer.
I did. I did.
You gotta send that to us. You gotta send it, please, because the anniversary's coming.
Yeah, I'd love to use that picture, buddy. Please. That's gold.
Okay, all right. I gotta make a note of this.
Yeah, that sure was quite the scene. They've never seen a party like that at the Supreme Court before.
Well, there were so many people there that they had to have an overflow room.
And that ended up being overcapacity.
Yeah.
And they told me that the only time they ever use the overflow room is when there's students there. And there wasn't a single bus of students, because usually they'll get a couple bus loads of students, but there was no students, and we had a bus load of people from Toronto and everybody else that it was standing room only in the other room.
Yeah, exactly. I was on that bus that came from Toronto.
Oh, you were on the party bus?
Yeah, I was on the bus. Yeah, they picked me up in Brighton.
Yeah, no, that was epic. Like, that was that will never happen again, and it only happened. Right? Like, you ride the bus to Ottawa to kick Health Canada's ass. Like, that was just poetic. Like,
it was
And then
such a great.
partying in the
Yeah,
Legion in Ottawa the night before.
we were
Like, I think that's
vaporizing
the
with
only
about.
time that there's been a party in the Legion like that ever, right?
It was
Like,
like,
I don't
wow,
know.
what do you
You
mean?
watch the thing. You watch this scene more than I do. Have you seen a party in a Legion anywhere else in Canada for any other time or reason?
No, to tell you the truth, in the town beside me, Marmara, where I lived for 5 years, but it's just down the road from me now. They're at their Legion. They have signs on the side of the building: no cannabis smoking or vaping on the property.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're usually pretty hardcore about it. But that was like
Oh
Ottawa,
yeah.
downtown, friggin'.
I know it was great. We were like, holy, and if we wanted to smoke, we had to go out on the balcony.
I know. I was out front smoking the whole night. Yeah, that was funny.
It was good, and with those Facebook memories, pictures of people getting together for the photos and
Yeah,
everything. It was good.
it was
We
epic.
it was a great time of being involved in the cannabis community over that stretch of period because of the challenges and the victories and the rallies and stuff, and there's more to be done, more to come forward. Things aren't done yet on either front.
No, like Jack said, she's really hoping that she's the one coming to Ottawa for the next round.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Although, by the time it'll still take a good 5 or so years to get that far.
Oh yeah. Those court challenges, they're not in they don't happen in a day, a week, a month, or a year.
Yeah.
They
Although
are.
we will be kind of piggybacking off the Warnke decision and the Howell decision,
Mhm.
because they're on the same points of law, and the Howell decision out of Alberta hasn't been heard by the Court of Appeal yet, but it will be, and I'm assuming Warnke will be appealed as well. And so,
Yeah.
depending on the outcomes of those Court of Appeal decisions and ours, yeah, we're hoping to be able to piggyback off of them and get to Ottawa as a team together. So
It'd
we'll
be
see how it
nice.
goes, right?
Yeah. I saw Pat. He posted in his Facebook group about some recent stuff that was involved in the case. But
Yeah, it's wonderful. He's here on the island now, eh?
no, is he?
So yeah, so he gets to drop in and hang out, and man, that guy can talk. It's just like stream of consciousness, But yeah, he's got a really powerful case. But yeah, they're just kind of discussing some of the nuances of what the judge should write about the remedy,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what
yeah.
the judge should tell Health Canada to do to fix the law, and a couple points about the personal sort of prosecution sort of that Pat is undergoing.
Yeah.
But I've read the decision, and the points about the law being unconstitutional aren't being questioned here. It's more a matter of, well, what are we going to do now that
Yeah,
there's
how are we
still
going to solve
figure out?
this?
And then that decision can go public, and that is honestly just awesome and perfect decision for us. It covers the points of law that we're kind of beating a drum about really quite eloquently, and
Hmm.
so yeah, we're very keen to have that judgment public, that's for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree because I believe the end result is like medical stores is one of those end results, is it not?
Yeah, the two issues are medical storefronts and 10 milligrams.
Yeah, okay.
So
Both
yeah, those are
both
the
very both
really
very big things.
the three things that we said we wouldn't comply about were those two and the smoking lounge, the one that you brought up earlier with the Ontario rules. We're not much
Yeah.
different here in BC. So
Yeah, we'll get into that through the show. I've got that down. I want to talk about that as well. But let's for now, let's head to break. I just gotta move my cursor around here. So why don't we head to break?
You might be saying goodbye to Jack,
we'll
though.
get. Oh, right. Bye, Jack. See, it was great talking to you.
You as
Now,
well.
is there
Thank you so
anything?
much.
I'll delay. I'll delay the break.
Aw, you're cute.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder, Ted. But yeah, so the so where can we go from there then? Okay, roles. Okay, now are you involved in patient intake or anything along that line, or is that something that as VCBC you have somebody like a person who looks after all that, a coordinator?
All the staff are able to do intakes, but if there's like questions about a proof of condition, they can ask me. And then if I'm still like, I don't fucking know, then we ask Ted.
But Jack actually probably does more intake than anyone because she also does the mail order right now. And so we are getting more people across Canada doing mail order because we got so many specialty products. And she's fluent in French as well, so she can, speak to people in Quebec, which was really important when the Montreal Compassion Club or the Green Cross, shut down there.
Yeah.
And so, she's really awesome at doing all that end of things.
Exactly. I was going to ask about that mail order end of things. So obviously you mentioned it. So you do it because I know that you're always talking about high dose edibles and patient access, and good knowing that people can access it through the mail system. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our biggest challenge right now is we don't have a website, which is really frustrating. The CSU has been like really rampant on taking down websites, which has also been affecting the like online dispensaries as well. And they're going after like the domains and stuff. And then you have to shut down and start another one, and you lose a bunch of your audience when you do that.
That's right. Yeah, I seen Ted making some posts about the fact that the website exactly.
Yeah, so we have a really not a great online presence, which is a little bit frustrating. And so we're working on that behind the scenes, but it's a lot of stuff. Website SEOs and the certificates and the blah, blah, blah. It's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated. There's no doubt about that. And being able to, like, how do you direct somebody to a website? I don't know. Like even though you could have a website where someone still needs a password to get in, like you said, your community safety people there that are so worried about the cannabis end of things, they'll shut you down anyways.
Yeah,
But just going to your internet provider, right?
Hosting. Yeah. So
yeah, they just go to your provider or whoever is managing your website. Wow.
Yeah, so we've come up with a system, but it's a lot of communicating internally. And then our point of sale system wasn't able to email with Gmail anymore because Gmail updated its security settings. And then we were getting booted off of free email services because cannabis.
Oh, you can't even get away with using an email way of doing it. Holy.
Right.
Jesus.
So then we need to find a private emailing service to email our own members. So that was a whole thing. And then we moved. So now
I guess not everybody would have Facebook. I'm just trying to look at, is there some social media that everybody uses that? No, because everybody, exactly.
So far the emailing has worked, and now I figured out the emailing campaign, which has pulled in more signups and more people ordering because they didn't know what the system was. So far so good, and we've got some people working on a new website that'll function like a gallery of all of our stuff, and then people will still email us, and then we can go from there.
Right. Yeah. Get something, I realize people like to see nice little pictures and stuff like that, but getting what's available out to them is beneficial, obviously, so they know it's there.
And if you're not on Google, like, do you even exist? Which is part of it. So
which
I guess you understands, right? And it's That's the
Yeah.
thing. So, but it's like, how much energy do
Yeah.
we invest in making a new site, knowing it'll be taken down? Like, da, da, da.
Yeah, that's got to be hard too. Because,
Yeah,
like, unless you got somebody that can build you websites for free, which is a time consuming thing,
yeah,
and yeah, you invest into that, and then they come along shortly after and shut you down.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
that's
been doing decently well. I found different ways to automate some different things, which has been
mm,
cool, like filling out PDFs online and printing our own labels at the club instead of waiting at the post office, other little things. So, yeah.
yeah, doing your own things that way. That would help, sure.
Mhm.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm just trying to racking my brain on the website end of things. For that, yeah, that's your communication. That's your link,
Yeah,
and I can see why they would go after that. But and you guys, like last I talked to Ted, he said it was 8,700 members. Like, holy fuck, that's a
yeah,
lot of that's a lot of addresses to input.
totally. And in regards to your original question about intakes, like one thing I like
Yep.
about doing intakes is you get to kind of like assess how much does the person want to talk about weed. And or like
Mhm.
how much do they already know, or what is their commitment,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
sometimes you get people that are like, just show me the shatter menu, and it's like,
Oh.
man, don't resell your don't resell your weed, here's the menu, here's how to order.
Yeah. 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 No.
But
Yeah.
then other people are like, what is THC? And you have to like you
You,
slow it way down, and it's like when
you
you're
would
like,
probably get a wide range of people as far as age, people that are, maybe in their mid-20s to people that are 80 years of age that'll
yeah,
come in, and
we
all kinds of
do older
experiences.
here.
We get a lot of people that don't know very much that come in.
Hmm.
Like maybe 20% of the people that come in here know a lot and know what rosin is and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we get a lot of little old ladies with cancer and younger people that really come here because people say, well, if you want answers, go here
Hmm.
Go,
because
yeah,
we're game in
yeah.
town.
Well,
Hmm.
yeah, that's the thing. When people know, the word spreads.
Yeah.
You,
And someone to
yeah,
talk to, because recreational stores are not allowed to like talk about the
yeah,
medical uses, just full stop. And if your doctor doesn't know, which is more likely than not, then you also go to the internet, which is confusing and overwhelming, and there's so much information. So just
yeah.
being able to talk to a human being who's like, okay, this is what's up. Here's what you need to know in a nutshell, in an accessible human way. Like the relief on people's faces when they're like, I do understand. Like I'm not stupid. Like it's accessible that way.
You bring it down to layman terms, and you don't try to overwhelm them with a super amount of information that they can't absorb, and then they just get frustrated and get
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes I
make it.
like members to touch the products too. Like
Hmm.
especially when we're talking about RSO, which is a very weird, complicated medicine, especially when you're just used to taking pills from the doctor. When you get handed like a syringe of oil, you're like, what the fuck is
What?
this?
Yeah. What?
Right? And so,
Exactly.
like, when I'm explaining it, I'm like, okay, here, you touch it and you hold it, and then we'll like walk through it, and then you'll understand when you're at home in your kitchen.
Yeah, smell and the whole bit. Like,
Mhm.
don't be afraid of it. You know, and learn about it. Encourage them as well to do some research on it as
Mhm.
well. You can point them in certain directions and answer questions, but there's never nothing wrong with them doing, if they have access to a computer, to do more research on themselves on the things that they're learning from you.
Totally. We also provide a range of pamphlets too, which like sometimes when you
Hmm.
go home, like it's a lot of information. And when we do signups, we tell people that it's like, please don't feel like you have to remember any of what I'm about to tell you. because like it's a lot, and that's why
It's-
our
yeah.
vendors know other things also. So it's like, come in and talk to us like every time, and we'll work through it. And then we also keep track of members' purchase history, which is very important because members have no idea. They were like, I took some pills last time. And then I can look
Yeah.
at your profile and be like, okay, this is what you took. How many did you take? Da, da, da.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Or what I used last time in as a suppository, for example. But I don't remember what they were, but I know that they were effective. And then you could turn around and you could look up that information
Yeah. Or if it was
for
too
them.
strong or not strong enough
Yeah.
or blah, blah,
Yeah.
then like we can figure it out from there. So it's a, kind of my job, I feel like, is a halfway point between like a pharmacist and like a barista. Because like you're remembering all these like medical things, you're helping people with their meds, their health, but then it's also like, oh hey, like Roy, like, oh what's up, like all the regulars. So it's a
Yeah.
cool space to be in.
Yeah. But now, okay, as far as because I see you've only got about 4 minutes left, 5 minutes left. What do you like? I know when I do public events and stuff, and I can help patients. How do you find working with the patients? Is this something that maybe I don't know whether maybe it's something you thought of like when you were in high school and all that, and now that you're doing that, whether you thought of it or not, is that something that I would think probably puts a bit of a glow and smile on your face, knowing that you're sending somebody home with some knowledge and in a way in order to make themselves their quality of life to be better.
Totally. When I was
Totally.
in high school, I knew I was going to figure out my career by process of elimination. And it couldn't involve physical labor, it couldn't involve too much math, and it couldn't involve blood.
Hey, I that blood one. I'm 100% with you on that.
That
Yeah,
eliminates
no,
a lot of things, okay? So
the exercise.
so when I was in gender studies, it's all about systems, right? Systems of
Okay.
identities, systems of whatever. So I was looking at like food systems, for example. It's like where a lot of things come together: families, money, economics, whatever, not whatever. So cannabis is another one. It's like where a lot of social issues coalesce, right? Healthcare, economics, growing, so many things come together at this one point where we deserve access to this thing. And so, like, working here is very fulfilling because I know it's something that I'm good
Yeah.
at, something the world needs, and something that's also supporting me, right? So it's like it
Yeah.
fills all of the things, which is very important.
And you
Yeah.
meet so many people.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and
You,
here
you
at
know,
the
you
store,
do.
it's so relieving to have like an answer to the frustrating legal market. Like, because people usually come here after they've tried to get legal weed. Like, very rarely are we a first stop. And so people
Oh,
have tried to like get the recreational stuff, or they've tried to talk to their doctor, or they talked to their doctor, signed up with the LP, and then have gotten frustrated. Like, and so it's really nice to be like, it's not going to be that hard. I got you. Let me
yeah. Like
sign
I
you up.
went
Let me
down.
send you some meds today. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And you
yeah,
probably those people, like you say, they've tried. They've gone to the local store with the 10 milligram packaged
yeah. Or smoked
throat
the microwaved
lozenges.
weed.
Yeah, and not found any benefit from them, or had to buy obviously a large quantity for some people in order to get any benefit from them.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, like, geez, I really hope that these court cases come through because it would really help so many people. It's,
I've also
yeah.
learned one thing on a personal level working in cannabis is like
Mhm.
I was so excited about cannabis for so long that anybody that would talk to me, I wouldn't like shut up about it. But now, instead of being like prescriptive and telling everybody that they should do this, they should do this, they should do this, I've like switched over to like, if you want the information, I'm here when you're ready to seek it out
Right.
from me, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you're pushing it on people always, it doesn't work the same. So like just having the knowledge and being available is really important.
Correct. Maybe the person might not want it right that moment, but
Yeah.
it might be enough to get them to open their minds to it that they'll come back later
Yeah.
to ask some questions. It may be a different surrounding or something, depending on where the conversation takes
Hmm.
place.
Yeah, and that's why I like using the words meds. Like, do you want to talk about your
Yeah,
meds? You can come get some meds from me later.
yeah,
You know,
and
and for some
medicate.
people, that's even a big revolutionary deal, because it's like cannabis is drugs, is getting high is recreational. But
Yeah,
like just changing and using the word like medicine is pretty important.
yeah. And instead of going out for a smoke, I'm going out to medicate.
Totally. Yeah.
Along that same line as well. Terminology that we use can make a difference. Get rid of some of that stigma,
Yeah.
and to make things better for us. So all right. I don't want you to be late. I see it's 10:02.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Jack.
much. Thanks for having
Well,
me on
you're
your
welcome.
show.
It was good to meet you. I've never met you before, so it was great to do so. And we'll have you back on the program and find out more as well. So
Great. Thank
Maybe
you.
get her and
yeah,
Clea on together. You can get the dirt on me.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I really can't wait for Clea to be on the show. She has a great life story and
Does
stuff to
she?
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be
The
worth it.
it's too bad that she couldn't make it tonight, but we'll get her on, and we'll get the two of them on. We'll get the two of them on, and the two of you can take you can roast Ted.
They
My
would have so
favorite.
much fun on the show with
My
you
favorite
without me.
activity.
You have
My
no idea.
favorite.
You have no idea.
That's my other job
And it would be
description.
very entertaining, I think.
It would be. All right, thank you, Jacqueline. All
Okay, so
right,
you're
Ted.
taking your break now.
I'm gonna take my break now. You got it exactly. So
I know what's
you're
going
gonna
on.
have about three. You're gonna have about 3 minutes, just so you know.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to get water. I'll be back.
You can go get a water. After break, we go. When we get back, I'll continue our conversations with Ted Smith of the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club. This is the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net and cbgtv.com.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
When you think of the number of unique products developed in the fields, kitchens, and labs at Legacy 420, it's hard to think that one stands out above the rest. But tell that to the thousands of people who have tried this amazing breakthrough product.
This is our Sacred Salve. This is actually our extra strength. It comes in 5 different strengths. It's all natural, all organic. It typically works within 10 to 15 minutes of putting it on. It's good for arthritis, it's good for inflammation, any kind of pain. We're very proud of it.
Sacred Salve, so easy to apply, along with soothing relief. To select a strength that's right for you, come in and talk to your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
Pace Radio Network, by patients, for patients, and for those who want to know.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you a cannabis content creator? Are you looking for a place to have your content seen? If you answer yes to both questions, then you need to check out cbgtv.com.
Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, you're back. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here on CBG TV as well as paceradio.net. I'm just waiting for Ted to come back to his spot there, and then I'll bring him back into the picture. He hasn't gone anywhere. He went to go get his drink. Went to go get a drink of water there at the break time, and I don't see him back at the desk yet. So we'll just wait before we bring him in. So we've been talking. We talked with Ted, but basically we've been talking a lot of the last 45 minutes before the break. We were talking with Jacqueline and finding out about Jacqueline, being that I had never met Jacqueline before, and neither had of our viewers. So it was good to meet her and to learn a bit about Ted's right hand person there that helps make everything tickety boo and keeps things operating. And I can see Ted is just getting back to the desk there now and just sitting down. All right. Okay, here we go. Hey, all right, Ted. We're back, buddy.
Okay, what happened here? Uh-oh, I lost my
Yeah,
sound.
no, we're good. We're good. Uh-oh. You lose the volume?
Do we have you on mute?
I don't know.
Uh-oh. Hey,
Maybe.
Ted. This happens. Hey.
Uh-oh. Hi.
Ted can't
Oh,
see
shit.
me.
What did I do?
Okay, he can't. Ted can't see me. I'll just wait to see see how it makes out there. Oh, he's been disconnected. I don't know what he's done. He hasn't left the room. He's still hanging on there. So we'll just see. We'll just work away at that. So when we were talking to Jacqueline, we got talking to her about how she got involved in the cannabis community. Oh, okay. I see Ted there now, but it still looks like he is there. He's still saying, "Oh shit." Hello, Ted. Oh. This is the thing about live shows. You get it all. You get the bloopers and you get these
Okay, so
problems.
I can hear you.
Okay, so you can hear me, but I can't hear you,
Yeah.
I think, is what's going on.
I can. Oh,
Is
I
that
can
the
hear
case, Al?
as well.
Thumbs up?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, shit.
Yeah.
You can always exit and go back.
I don't know. Something happened over break, obviously.
Oh,
You
I
can't,
don't know
but
why
let's give
it's
it.
doing this.
Okay, Ted. I'm going to. I don't know if I can. Okay. I'm gonna have to. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take another commercial break, and I'm gonna see if I can get Ted in here during that break. All right. So I'll be right back. See you in about another 3 minutes.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
In February of 2022, the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and Ted Smith were fined $6.5 million This for helping 8,500 patients with access to medical cannabis. In our interview with Ted, he spoke to us about how people can donate to help in an upcoming court challenge. And here is part of that interview. From what I've seen lately, I believe that you've got something that you're trying to do as far as fundraising to deal with this next court challenge.
For now, people can write checks directly to Jack Lloyd Law Corporation or send e-transfers to save the VCBC at gmail.com. I guess those are the two easiest ways for people to help right now.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And we're back and we're live, and hopefully we've got Ted. Ted, are you there?
Oh, wow. I was working a minute ago. I could hear you just fine.
And I can hear you just fine. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I could hear you at the end of the commercial, and then all of a sudden
It's gone. You can't. So you can't hear me now. Okay, I'm gonna leave. Hopefully,
I'm sorry, Al.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. This happens. I just sent him a message, everybody, to see if we can get him to get back in here. But as you said, everything was fine running during the commercial.
I don't know what to say here. Maybe I'll just shut down and try to come back in the room.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There he goes. Oh, he should have left completely. But he's still hanging in there. Oh, well, hey, all you can do is we're trying. There's no doubt about that. So when we were talking to Jacqueline again, she was talking about how she got involved in the cannabis community, and the fact that she was just mainly a stoner at high school, and she had people who were against within her family, obviously, that were against cannabis, but she was able to change their thoughts and their impressions about cannabis because of what she was able to achieve. Not only did she finished high school, but she went on to university, went to Vic, and passed flying colors there. high up on the list. Got a pin because of the fact that she finished high on that list every year that she was there. I'm just keeping an eye on Ted. Okay, there he comes. He has come back. I'm just waiting for the video to show up. All right, there we go. Ted, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
All right, good stuff. We got through it, man. We got through it.
Sorry that took so long to figure out.
Hey, we got her done. We got her done.
Okay.
People got to watch us do it too. So that happens. All right, yeah, I was just sort of going over some of the stuff that Jacqueline and I had talked about, and the fact that did great in high school, did great in university. Parents were upset, worried about their stoner image was going to ruin things for her, but she obviously excelled.
Yeah, she is a very bright, articulate person, and so she's quite passionate about a number of things, and yeah, she's been great to work with here. She's helped keep the club together through all sorts of things. That's for sure.
Exactly, and it's good to have people like that. If that you can can help work with you and share those things with you in order to be able to do it, because it's a big job for what you guys have accomplished over the years. There's no doubt about that. So presently, we touched on this stuff a little bit at the very beginning, and that was the fact that you guys have moved from your home, place that you guys call home for what, 22 years?
Yeah, it was 22 years in the same location. Between that and the apartment up the street, I sold cannabis on the same street for 27 years there, and now we've had to move. It's the same neighborhood, very close by, really, but it is not our home anymore. It's not the same. It's different, but we're making it our home. But
right.
It's not the same. It was a beautiful old heritage building we were in. So.
Now you just said that you guys were in the same neighborhood, same district or whatever. The moving process that you guys used, from my understanding, probably highlighted in this photo that was in the blog at cannabisdigest.ca. And you can see there that the people are lined up all the way down that sidewalk.
That's not actually a picture from us. I'm not sure where that we were using that one.
Isn't it? Oh, I thought it was. It looked like people were passing things.
No.
In
fact, we didn't have anybody I guess Clea took a bunch of pictures. We probably should go more public with some of them than we have. She's just been so busy, she hasn't posted many. But it was really quite the scene. We had a lot of patients there with hand carts and dollies, and so it was about 3 city blocks, basically, or 4 city blocks they had to go. And so we lined everybody up in front of the store, and the staff and I started. I literally left the store with 3 hockey bags full of pot, and the staff came with all the cookies and everything right behind me, and then we let 2 or 3 people in the store at a time with their cart, and somebody would fill their cart up with boxes or furniture. And then when they left the store, the next 2 or 3 people would come in. And we had so many members helping that by the time someone left our store, came here, dropped off, and got back to the store, there would be a lineup of 4 or 5 people still waiting to get in. And sometimes longer, actually. There'd be up to 10 people waiting in line. And it was just this constant stream. It took an hour and 15 minutes to move everything except maybe a half a dozen big pieces of furniture that we moved beforehand.
Really?
But,
so maybe that picture wasn't you guys, but it sounds like it could have been, just from
Yeah.
the fact that
Yeah, like there
you're
wasn't this
constantly being
one
able to
long
move. I
stream,
seen
but
some. Yeah, then I seen some video, like even there was a guy on a scooter who had a wagon or something,
a
and was
paraplegic in a wheelchair had a really heavy cart. So yeah, we threw some big shelves, I think, on his cart, and yeah, we took like the filing cabinets and desks and all sorts of things. Just got hand bombed up the street, and some patients couldn't do very much, but we just give them like a plant or a chair or a piece of art, and that's all they would carry. But they were helping, and it
correct.
was like I say, it was like 3 or 4 trips at most that anybody had to do. And
Hmm.
meanwhile, we were like stripping everything that we could out of the building because the building's just getting renovated. So the landlord didn't want to have it like look new or nice. Like, so we took the
Hmm.
doors off the walls. We took all
Oh,
sorts of stuff
anything you
because
could reuse in the new place.
right? Or any, yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
anything we could use at all. Because a lot of it, like I was even trying to get the toilet out of there because I bought the new toilet at one point. But yeah,
Hey,
we were stripping
you know,
fans, lights.
yeah, like from my understanding, it was going to be turned into it was a storage company or something. It was going to turn into a storage building. So, a
Yeah,
shitter, why
yeah, they're just
not?
stripping they're going to strip all the walls down. There's yeah, and just completely rebuild the design of the floor. So
Mhm.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was fine for us because we're getting our full damage deposit back, which is
Oh,
nice.
good,
So
good,
that's going to
good,
pay for
good.
lawyers for a couple months.
Yeah, you had a big a big goodbye party to the building last.
Yeah, well, we started at 2. We were done at 3:15. So basically, when people started showing up at 3:15 to get another load, we're like, "No, we're done. Smoke a joint." We just basically like sat and smoked pot for an hour or so till 4:20, and yeah, it
Smoke
was
some
kind
more.
of a fitting way to end it. We had a nice big
Yeah,
crew down there,
yeah. That was
but
good. Good that everybody came together and
yeah.
moved everything.
Yeah, it's
Um,
funny because when we talk about logistics, you just met Jack. She's all about logistics and how things are going to work. And I'm like, we're just going to have faith it's going to work. And people are going to show up with all the things that we need to them to show up with. And it's just going to happen. And they just, we're like, okay, we'll go along with this. But, they didn't think it would be done in time for 4:20. They thought it was going to take a lot longer because we have a lot of stuff that had to move, but we did
yeah,
her.
okay, yeah, because I like when I heard that you basically set a date to move. I was thinking that was earlier than what you had originally projected when you'd be able to move.
Oh yeah,
Whether
that's
it
a
was
whole
because
other story. So when we got our eviction notice, we made arrangements to move into a different location than this one, and
Mhm.
we thought
Okay.
that we had an agreement, although we hadn't signed an actual lease. And then a month after telling us that we could move in, the person that made the agreement admitted that the landlord's lawyer finally looked at the situation and won't allow it to happen. And so instead of going
Oh.
public that we had lost our first location, I just immediately went to our second option because I knew of this place. It was being used for storage, so it had some stuff in it. But
Mhm.
I knew that it was available and that we could likely rent it. And so I just went straight to this landlord, and we didn't even tell people really publicly that we've had to switch places. In part because for the most part we hadn't gone public with where we thought we were moving in the first place.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it was very stressful though to
Oh
be
yeah.
going through that because when our landlord or the first landlord said that we couldn't move in, the storage company was threatening us with a lawsuit for every day that we remained in the building. Oh, sorry about that.
Oh yeah. Not a
Um,
problem. That happens.
And so yeah, it was very stressful. But luckily this facility was available a month before the other one was going to be. And so
Good.
that was one of the reasons why the lawsuit was dropped, because we were doing everything in our power to get out as soon as possible. So
Right.
that was good.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So the new place, how's it coming? Is it coming together as far as the way you wanted to set things up, or is there going to be some work required?
Originally, I had some dreams about building a smoking lounge, for example, and some
Yeah.
other things for a staff kitchen, but I've run into a few snags with the city, and I really don't want to get into all the details, but
That's okay.
city planning in Victoria with all their permits and stuff is a pretty tricky place to be. And yeah, at this point, I don't want to trigger any more
No.
kind of
You've had
inspections or
some
problems.
support from councils in the past, so
Yeah,
I
well, the
understand your
council,
position.
I think, is still supportive, but now we're in the bureaucracy of the, planning department and stuff, and it's a whole other ball game. And it's
Right.
going to be a lot more time and money with renovations than I expected. So yeah, like we've been able to move in and settle things down initially, but there's a few issues like power supply that need to be worked out. But one day at a time.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. The now is it that you said it was in the same neighborhood? So I'm going to assume it's still easily accessible for patients to get there, whether it's by public transit or there's parking available.
Well, in
And
fact, we've moved off of Johnson Street to a side street, and it really for parking is so much better. For the neighborhood in general, it's a lot more relaxed and yeah,
oh,
just kind of a
good.
gentler neighborhood than what we were in. It's a
Oh,
little bit more off the bus routes, but still there's buses that are relatively close. We're just kind of on the fringe of the downtown now instead of being like in downtown. So,
right.
but like I say, the parking in our last place over the 20 years we were there had gone from bad to worse. So for a lot of patients, this is a lot more accessible.
Yeah. Now, what about the building itself? I'm going to assume it's just as accessible as the other one, like to get into it and to get around, to be able to be
Actually,
mobile
we've made
around.
more room for the members on the inside. I'm not exactly happy about the fact that we have no windows at all, so people can't see in
Oh,
or we can't see out.
right.
So I'm gonna have to do some renovations probably next year for that, but I'm waiting to finish everything else I got to do before I open that door.
Right. Yeah. Well,
A
hey.
lot of details around here to deal with, like I say. There's some pros,
Oh,
there's some cons, but the fact is we got a roof over our head, and it
correct.
could have been the case
Exactly.
that I'd be trying to do this out of a van or something, or and it would be a
Did that.
nightmare for all of us. So we're just
Oh, it would be.
grateful that we have a place, and yeah, just kind of
Yeah.
every day is a miracle
Exactly.
here.
Grateful for the fact that you've just got that you've like you said you've got a spot where patients can come and you can help people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, okay, space, we've touched on that. Okay, we touched on the mail order thing. Just crossing things off my list here.
All good, man.
Let's see where we're gonna go here. The lounge things, like you were working on the lounge in the other place, and you say you got nowhere to put a lounge. You got a spot, like have you got an outside area you could use?
Well, there is an outside area actually people can use here, but I want to build something inside.
Yeah,
And
I
I
don't blame you.
anticipate doing it. I just need to get through all this other stuff before I do that.
Well, you know, yeah, spring's just coming, right?
Right?
So,
Yeah.
for outside use, on on nice days, you've
Yeah.
got at least you've got somewhere.
We have a little courtyard out front here, so
Good.
that's been really nice. Yeah. So that's as good as it gets for now.
Yeah, like I at the beginning of the show, I was talking about the Ontario end of things, and you got to be 9 meters away from a door, from the entrance to a store or entrance to a building. Well, why couldn't a place have a lounge so it's outside still, but it's not within 9 meters of a door of an entrance.
Yeah, we're still breaking that rule.
It's just yeah. It just seems so ridiculous. We don't have them because it smells. Well,
Yeah.
people, our province allows people to smoke it on the street. Like, do you guys there in BC, are you allowed to smoke it on the street in public?
In theory, but I still think people get harassed for it at times.
Okay. Well,
Like,
because
yeah,
I
it's
know, like
pretty.
here, Ford, that was one of the things at the beginning about whether it was going to be allowed to be used publicly. And I would think that if somebody, I just found out that somebody allows it to be used publicly is using smell as an excuse for not allowing outdoor lounge.
Yeah, it's really counterintuitive because if you think smell is a problem, well then put it in a contained space with charcoal
Yeah.
filters that go out the roof, so nobody smells it, and
Exactly.
so then it's a contained problem instead of just this whole prohibition type mentality where it's like, no, we don't like it, we're not going to allow it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like,
Yeah.
that's just pretty arrogant position to be in.
It's really ridiculous and sad. There's no doubt about that. Now what did the BC government decide on that? I know, like, they've put a hold on it as well, right? Because they took some
Yeah,
input. They
like
released a
it's
report
been
on
yeah, it's been pretty weak at this point from the province. There might be an opportunity for outdoor LP kind of smoking areas, but yeah, it's going to be I think really tough for anybody to get through all the rules.
Yeah.
Partly because even if they do get permission from the province to do it, they've still got to run it through their municipality, and it's
Yeah,
just
that's
really
bad too.
counterintuitive that that they're going to allow smoking lounges in these outdoor facilities in places that are either industrial parks or agricultural areas that are quite out of the way. That kind of a lot of these places, that's the point, is that they grow their cannabis off the beaten track. But
Yeah.
now they're saying that's the only places that could have lounges. So you're going to get people, kind of driving out to the country to use cannabis, which is
Yeah.
really, not the smartest way to go, really. But
No, it's not.
that seems to
Exactly.
be the way it's going to start.
Yeah, completely agree with you. All right. Let's see. So, done that. What do we got left? We got about 5 minutes left here, Ted.
Okay, well, there is a few things I could throw at you.
Sure, yeah. Bring it
So,
on.
since we've chatted, I was involved in a meeting hosted by Health Canada and the Cannabis Review Act
Good,
that
yeah.
an expert panel is conducting, and they're looking at the whole act, but there is a segment where they're looking at reviewing the medical cannabis program. And so I was in one of the initial meetings with a bunch of other so-called patient advocates, although they are mostly representing businesses that sign up patients to LP products, but they work with patients. And so, they were criticizing Health Canada for a lot of the accessibility problems that exist in the legal system. And that was certainly a dominant conversation in the meeting that was held. But it's not going to be the only meeting of that group. And they intend on having a number of different ways to gain input from patients specifically about the medical program and how it could be improved upon. There is a lot of fear and concern that the medical program could be even eliminated here if there isn't enough support for it. And so some of the panel members didn't even have the time to show up at this meeting. So, there is a concern that, no matter what we say here, it could be ignored and not, and any positive changes made. They may make some changes for the better in certain areas and then take away patients' rights to grow on another. That's another fear that they have that patients and have, although that really wasn't discussed a lot at this meeting. They plan on having a big meeting in May in Ottawa with patients.
Okay.
But they also plan upon going around and meeting patients, in particular in compassion clubs. And so that's where I expect us to come in, and I'm really keen to have this panel come to our club. The reason I got invited to this meeting was because the BC Compassion Club has folded. Hilary Black, who for decades has represented compassion clubs in Canada at these types of Health Canada meetings, even when she was working for Aurora, she would still put on her BC Compassion Club hat and speak to the issues. But she can't do that anymore. The BC Club's not around. In fact, there are no real old school compassion. Yeah, it shut down last summer. There are no more compassion clubs in Canada except for us that are really openly operating. You got Chris Enns out there in the East Coast. But I'm not sure if he's strict on medical only or what he's doing. He's quite the character.
Last I knew he was,
I think, I thought he was. So he's about the only one in the country that's even close. Although I doubt Health Canada would go close to him with a 10-foot pole. But certainly, we are the Compassion Club, and at least the one that's left anyway. And so they've got it in their mandate that they're going to visit compassion clubs on this tour. And so I'm expecting that while we're fighting the province for our existence, we're going to be providing information to Health Canada on why medical storefront access is a critical component of the healthcare system. And it's going to be kind of ironic in certain aspects when that happens. But
well, I remember the task force before legalization and all that. They went across the country talking to the compassion centers as well.
Yeah, and Anne McClellan and others visited the BC Compassion Club, and Hillary, coordinated all that. And I'm fortunate enough to be in contact with her, so she's going to help me out, towards the day that Health Canada or these their panel comes out here. And so it really is something that has precedent and happening, and we expect it to happen again. But this time we hope that they actually listen and do something to save the compassion clubs or help bring them back again, even because there's it's been pretty much decimated here.
Yeah, that's too bad. Down to just to a handful. We used to have so many compassion centers at one time. I remember putting up my publication, the Grassroots Advocate. I had a list of compassion centers across the country, and now
we had the whole back page of the Cannabis Digest. So we would have we would keep it up to date every time we printed one. We were quite keen on having a list of how many were in each province, and I think exactly. It was I think PEI, New Brunswick, and Manitoba were about the only ones that actually didn't have compassion clubs there. Maybe St. John's, but
now everybody's gone. Well, Ted, we're at the end of the show.
All right, buddy. Thanks for
Shout
having us
out,
on.
time, person, place, a thing, website, anything like that you want to throw at anybody?
How about Drug Sense?
Drug Sense.
They're an old website, Drug Sense. They have done work for decades behind the scenes. They've got like the most. They used to be like the biggest and best library of cannabis news, and
Exactly.
they host all sorts of websites. And yeah, their donations have just plummeted. Because people aren't really fighting for legalization anymore, and it's all about fighting for money now. And yeah, I just found out because they're paying to keep my old hempology.ca page alive because it's historic to me. There's a lot of old things. There are things that happened like 20, 25 years ago that are recorded on there. So yeah, we're gonna kick them down a little bit of money. But yeah, Drug Sense, check them out. They're a pretty awesome organization.
Good. Thank you very much for that. All right. Other than that, let everybody know that back next week with another broadcast and our special guests. You can find us on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Roku TV, Fire Stick as well. And other than that, thanks to our sponsors, Legacy420.com and the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. Plus a big thank you to our guests, Ted Smith and Jacqueline Kittel. And plus a big thank you to our watchers and our viewers and our listeners, so on and so forth, for tuning into the program. Thank you and good night.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.